Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
So my friends and I are about to go randonauting, and I see a lot of people saying that they find creepy here, so I figured I'd record it to see what actually happens.
For this terrifying video, I couldn't find a source. However, I've never seen it before, and it all starts out when a group of friends decides to go randonauting, and initially they were disappointed because they didn't find anything. That is until they find a trail of what looks like blood, and they decide to follow it. And it did not go well. But here's that first clip, and let me know what you think.
What is that?
It seems pretty fresh. Is that?
What the?
No, that could be pain. Hold up, is that a trail? Wait, look.
So there's like a blood trail, so we're following it right now. So the blood leads over here, and it keeps going down that. So Matthew's gonna go down.
Look, there's more blood.
Okay, I'm running out of time. Like, and comment for part 2.
After following the trail to a dark alleyway, one of the guys volunteers to go it alone and see where it leads. And this is what happens.
Yeah, there's a thick trail. Like, look at. Holy. That's kind of sus. All right, I'm going, guys. What the? Hello? What? Nah. No. Yo.
I feel bad for whoever's laying on the other side of that wall hollering out for help. Though you can't really blame anyone for just bailing after hearing that, with as many tales as you hear of people being baited into bad situations in exactly that manner.
Go back some. What? Go back a little bit, then zoom in so they can see it. All on the Ring camera detection. Now watch this, the next one. What the hell? Pause it on that. Yo.
He lit up the whole street. Look how big this thing is.
Yo.
Did they just capture the first video ever of an alien abduction on their Ring doorbell camera? That's 100% what it looks like. If I were them, I'd be turning this over to Ring, because I think they have a big cash reward to the first person to capture something like this.
Did the moon map of Earth resonate with you? Well, it's about to resonate way more. There's this theory that the moon represents our Earth, and only 1/4 is our known Earth, and it moves around, like the clock in Prague. As you can see, there's a constellation wheel. The sun and moon are both connected in the center of this. And honestly, what if this constellation wheel moves around in centuries of time around the entirety of Earth? I call this the 4/4 theory, like the 4 quarters in ancient cosmology and mythology. The 4 quarters of Earth that Enoch talks about. The 4 quarters in several Bibles, scriptures, and quarters definition is a fourth of something or a place in which you can dwell, which it's weird that this is literally 1/4 of this, and it's the quarters in which we dwell. So is this moon projection that kind of looks like the land from Earth enough evidence for us to believe in something like this? Probably not, because really it doesn't match up perfectly, but I've got some evidence. In order for this theory to even be somewhat plausible, we need 3 things to be happening for sure. Number 1, the magnetic north would have to be moving. And guess what? It is. In the direction that it would need to be moving for this theory to be true. But wait, if the magnetic north and the magnetic field is moving northwest, north compared to what? That is the north. Wait, what if there's another north right here in the center? You know, the Mercator map has 4 quarters, 4 rivers, and an ultimate center. Doesn't that kind of look like it? But either way, we have 2 more major things for this to be even plausible, and that is the ice in Antarctica, West Antarctica to be exact, should be melting, and the ice in East Antarctica should be freezing, and it is. This is all melting, and this is all freezing, and has a higher elevation. Why? Well, because it's constantly freezing more, and the lower elevation is because it's melting more. Now, also, direct sunlight in Africa should be increasing. The Sahara Desert should be growing, south to be exact. Isn't that something? Huh. Yeah, you should maybe do some math too here, because it's weird at the rate that it's moving. Okay, fine, but South America should be increasingly freezing more. And it is. Yeah, that's right, it is. Here's what's cool too. This explains silly climate change and ice ages too, not to mention finding strange animals and structures in the ice that's melting in Antarctica. Oh, the climate crisis, it's you and my's fault. What if they're just using this crisis to get some money, but then also to say you're the problem? You know, you're the one who's causing these emissions. No, come on, hey. And also, we are not having an energy crisis either. Think about the old world ships. This place was like an entire city that floated around, charged on these Tesla coils. Look, we can harness the ether energy, and I think they're doing that, throwing a price tag on it. But that's the thing. This theory, it brings all of the conspiracies kind of together. Makes it obvious of what they've been hiding. They throw stuff like this out there, and this with zero evidence as to how this could even be, when all the while a model like this explains everything. Just think about it. So when they said flat earth was a psyop, maybe it kinda is. Maybe they're only giving us 1/4 of what we really need to be looking into. By the way, I don't use this moon projection as all of my evidence. No, I look at all of the other things that line this thing up for a home run.
After getting the initial theory in yesterday's video, and then seeing this more detailed breakdown, I think this guy might be onto something here. This all makes much more sense to me than the simple flat earth theory, and just the simple fact that it lines up so perfectly with these actual temperature events in a way that makes so much more sense than what the climate scientists are telling us. I think this is certainly a theory that needs more research into it. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I post a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock. It would be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
Do you know what I've noticed about women's fantasies, like when it comes to romance? Their ideal sense of romance is literally just cheating.
You know, the funny thing is, I didn't think this was true. I was like, man, he's just cherry picking examples. And then I did some research and he is 100% correct. Like, think about all the most popular romance movies ever. Sleepless in Seattle, cheating. You've Got Mail, cheating. Cheating, 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 and some underage bull. International cheating. Oh my God, so much cheating. Cheating, but with good music. Cheating, but with comedy. Rich people cheating, cheating down under. Old people cheating, and cheating plus music. Like, it is undeniably true. Every successful romantic movie in like the last 4 decades has just had cheating. That's the women's fantasy. They get with a man, the movie convinces you that man is not good, and then they cheat on him. They cheat on him with the hero of the story. And they're not even subtle about it. The movie is just like, hey, you're with this guy, go cheat on him so we can have a love story. And women are just like, oh my God, isn't it so romantic? No, you know what would have been romantic? Leaving the guy you're with and then dating the hero.
This is a great example of the media pushing an agenda or a narrative that destroys the very people that they claim to intend to entertain. They fill our heads up with these backwards ways of thinking in order to get us to behave in such a way that we end up destroying the very concept of family and family values. If there are no family values to unite the people, then they're much easier to divide. Make everyone look out for themselves. No sense of family, no sense of community.
Did you know that Charles Lindbergh wrote 2 books that claimed a small financial elite were in control of America? But by 1918, the printing plates of both books had been destroyed. He referred to this group of bankers as the Money Trust, who he accused of being behind the Federal Reserve Act and America's entry into World War I. Just look at what he said about the Federal Reserve Act. This act establishes the most gigantic trust on earth. When the president signs this bill, the invisible government, by the monetary power, will be legalized. The people may not know it immediately, but the day of reckoning is only a few years removed. The worst legislative crime of the ages is perpetrated by this banking bill. Lindbergh was the driving force behind the Pujo Committee, a 1912 congressional hearing that concluded a small group of financial elites had immense power and influence over America. The very bankers exposed by these hearings were the same people that had attended the famous meeting on Jekyll Island. The people behind the Federal Reserve Act and the 16th Amendment, which is what this book is about. Those in power have tried to take this history from us, our history. Well, I've already been producing audiobooks, and I'm going to get my hands on these books and bring them back. So join my email list if you're interested. Check out my books on how information is controlled, rights fundamental to being an American, the corruption of the banking system, fake news, and so much more.
A small financial elite are in control of America. But I don't have to tell you all that. If you're watching this channel, then you already knew. The great thing is that small group of elites are starting to lose their grip on our government, and they aren't going to control things for much longer. I think their time's coming to an end.
Do you want to know how to make someone believe that you're in a crisis, but you're actually not? On this side of the picture, you have a map over Sweden, which is actually the summer of long time ago. Here you can see it's all green and it's sun and some clouds and there's some winds there, and it looks, this is a summer day. It looks amazing, right? Nothing strange. Here, 2 years ago, the temperature is actually lower than long time ago, but the map has a really strange color. I wonder why the map is all red. And down here it's like really red. 21 degrees Celsius. Wow. I mean, down here it's 26 and it's all green. Looks great. Comment what you think.
I've seen several examples now of weather stations doing this. It's hilarious how these news organizations just think that we're going to buy this crap. Like we don't all have access to the internet. And they aren't even being smart about it either, or they'd be changing this stuff slowly over a period of time. But they're in panic mode right now because nobody's buying the agenda, so they're just throwing constant Hail Marys.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Tinkerbell fly over the Disney castle at the beginning of the movies, like the intro to Disney movies? And in the old movies, she flies over the castle and then comes and dots the I in the word Disney. Well, Disney is saying that that is not true. That's never been an intro to a single Disney movie. But I remember she would fly over the castle, and that's her pixie dust going over the castle, and she flies up and dots the I in Disney. And Disney's saying it never happened. And then I go look at all the intros to Disney movies, and it doesn't happen in a single intro. Am I wrong? I'm not going crazy. I swear other people have seen this and they are saying that it's a Mandela effect. We're in a different timeline. I mean, don't y'all remember this? How can you say that that was not Tinkerbell? That was the intro to Disney movies. And for them to say that it never happened, this is definitely a different timeline.
This one's got me. I absolutely remember this. What do you guys think? Did this lady just discover a new Mandela effect? Because I think she did.
Fucking hero they got. We talk about the new moon. We put it right to the face.
What exactly is that supposed to mean?
Watch this. This is why you have to be so careful.
By the real witches of New Orleans saying you're playing with fire and you gotta change up your chances. It's true. So in season 1, when I was the writer's assistant, I wrote the chants, and I would go online and look up spells. I was like, why not? And then I'd change a couple words. I'd go and I'd figure out a spell. And then go and change a couple words to French, a couple words to Creole, a couple words to Haitian Creole. If you Google translate, if you Google translate to Haitian Creole, then I'd throw some Latin in. I was just making some spells, and then we got a call from a woman in New Orleans who was like, I think that you're playing with fire. I think that you're, what are you trying to do? You're playing these spells in everybody's living room all across America. We were cursing everybody in one room. And then I started making shit up a little weirder.
After that, she said they started making things a little weirder. So these people in these shows are casting actual spells on the viewers, and people are broadcasting it into their homes. Your eyes and your ears are gates, so they're literally putting curses into people's homes based on just them watching and streaming the show into their homes. Follow me if you want to learn more.
Be careful what shows you're watching. I'm not a believer in witchcraft and casting spells and whatnot, but I do know that words have power, and they clearly don't care what they're putting on screen for your entertainment, so be careful who you allow to entertain you.
There's a Freemason lodge on the moon? That's right, Buzz Aldrin, the second man to step foot on the moon, established Tranquility Lodge number 2000. This is factual information, TikTok moderators. Do not take my TikTok down. I'm learning this on the same day that they come out with the news that there's caves on the moon that astronauts could use as bases. I mean, tell me the Freemasons aren't gonna be up there acting weird in caves. The thing that interests me the most is the fact that NASA allowed Buzz Aldrin to bring this flag on the rocket ship. Rocket fuel is very expensive, and every ounce has to be accounted for, so the fact that the federal government allowed Buzz Aldrin to go up with that flag tells me something. NASA, a federal agency, used your tax dollars to establish a lunar Mason base. How about that?
This one's new to me. It's not shocking or surprising at all, but it's new information. I swear, the more I dig through some of this stuff, the more it seems like they're just almost putting this stuff out there for us to find. What purpose could this possibly have other than to stir up conspiracy theorists? But just like any claims made about the supposed moon landing, I'm going to need to see a lot more evidence on this before I believe that Buzz Aldrin placed anything on the moon.
So whether you look at a cup of water, a bathtub, a swimming pool, a lake, or the ocean, it's flat. Of course, natural motion is not considered and doesn't equal a curve. We have 0 authentic pictures of the Earth, and they're all composites, and NASA even admits that they Photoshop Earth images.
It is Photoshop, but it's has to be.
On numerous occasions, NASA admits that we can't go beyond low Earth orbit, which is between 99 miles and 1,200 miles away. The interesting thing is that the moon is said to be 238,000 miles away, which is a difference of 236,800 miles. No matter if you're on the ground, on top of a building, a mountain, a hot air balloon, an airplane, or looking at high-altitude amateur balloon footage, the horizon never fails to rise right to your eyes. Whether you are looking at Toronto's skyline from Niagara-on-the-Lake, 31 miles away, Chicago's skyline from Union Pier, 43 miles away, or even Oahu from Kauai, which is up to 108 miles away from center to center, or 73 miles away from the closest points, you will not see any curvature where it's supposed to be. According to the Pythagorean theorem, which states that the curvature of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared, Oahu should not be visible whatsoever, but you can see the whole thing. In 1887, Albert Michelson and Edward Morley conducted what's known as the Michelson-Morley experiment. This experiment was attempting to prove the speculated motion of the Earth around the Sun, and when it failed, Albert Einstein was forced to form the theory of relativity to overcome this problem. In fact, anytime mainstream science is faced with undesirable results, they create a workaround, which isn't real science at all. The Sun is claimed to be 93 million miles away, with a radius of over 400,000 miles, but can easily be proven to be much closer and smaller by tracing the crepuscular rays back to its origin in the sky. If the Sun were indeed 93 million miles away, it would simply be impossible to have angled sun rays, as they should all consistently come in straight. According to the globular theory, a lunar eclipse occurs when the Sun, Earth, and Moon are in a direct line, but it is on record that since about the 15th century, over 50 eclipses have occurred while both the Sun and Moon are visible above the horizon. F.H. Cook, The Terrestrial Plane. It's a common misconception that the shadow of the Earth causes moon phases. Even the pastors and priests of the science religion readily admit this fact. The interesting thing about moon phases is that they are always the exact same 8 phases repeated. But if we were circling around the Sun, these 8 phases would inevitably be reversed from the summer to winter seasons. I completely understand that the idea of a flattened stationary Earth seems ridiculous in many ways, but that's only because we are taught the false globe model from the very first time that we enter a school classroom. Not to mention the first time we are introduced to the concept of a flat Earth, it's depicted as a highly laughable world where ships, boats, and water investigated the flat earth claims that I started to realize that there is more to this theory than I originally gave it credit for. Now, after almost 2 years of research, I'm certain that the earth is flat. We are told that the earth spins at 1,040 miles per hour, while the earth travels around the sun at 66,000 miles per hour. Meanwhile, the whole solar system is going inside the Milky Way galaxy at a speed of 490,000 miles per hour. And finally, the entire Milky Way galaxy is darting through infinite space at over 1 million miles per hour. Most people believe this, and yet every experiment ever conducted to prove even the simple spin of the Earth has failed. The same thing goes for curvature. It's never been proven, and the only time we see it is in movies, NASA CGI, or when we're looking through a distorted fisheye lens.
I don't believe in a flat Earth, but after all the arguments that I've heard for the theory, I'm starting to doubt the idea of a globe Earth model as well. To clarify, I'm not saying I'm starting to think the Earth is flat, but if they have all this compelling data to back up that claim, and the data actually makes sense, then why would I blindly believe the globe model when all the data that science gives me makes even less sense than the flat earthers?
I have just witnessed a conversation between two human traffickers that were talking about selling women for sex from Romania to France, and I called the police and they did nothing. What? I'm just not able to process this, but I was like literally in Paris, just sitting outside, and I was trying to enjoy my dinner very close to Gare de Bercy. When like next to me I realized that there were two Romanian men, and I was just like, oh, curious me, just like trying to listen to the conversation that they had. And guess what? At first I was like, no, I must be delusional, that cannot be what they are talking about. But they were talking about how they are taking women from Romania and bringing them here or in any other European countries, and they are selling them for sex. And they were just like talking about them like they're pieces of shit. And bro, I'm in shock. They literally just said that they make 2,400 euros for each woman that they bring in here. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot process this. And I called the police, yeah? I was like explaining them exactly what I heard. I told them where they are, and they were like, okay, I will just pass it to my colleagues, and they hang up on me. They didn't ask me how they look like. They didn't ask me where exactly I saw them. They were just like, they are human traffickers? Okay, that's good. I'm gonna pass it to my colleagues. I managed to record a very short video of them because I was like actually very afraid that they will figure it out that I'm Romanian and I understand their conversation. I don't know. Please feel free to watch the 7 seconds that I managed to record.
I guess be careful if you live in France. We all know this goes on all over the world, but to find out the local police department's just going to hang up on you if you call with some information about it is absolutely disgraceful. With all the issues they've had in France lately, I'm going to say it wasn't exactly on my bucket list of countries to visit, but I definitely ain't going to risk taking my family there now.
Ever wonder why the powers that be always broadcast what they're going to do before they do it? It's not to avoid karma. That's not how karma works. The reason is because the powers that be are archons. Archons were spoken about in the ancient Gnostic texts. Archons are thought forms that cannot manifest on their own because they have no love or connection to the cosmic womb, and therefore cannot utilize the law of attraction. So they use us humans to manifest by putting ideas in our faces. Once we see the idea and experience an emotion about the idea, we manifest it for them. So they don't tell us what they're gonna do before they do it. They tell us what they want to happen, and we make it happen by experiencing negative emotions about it happening.
I don't really know about the whole Narcon thing, but this theory that they put this stuff in front of us to bring it into fruition makes so much more sense than them putting it in front of us because of some belief in karma. That idea has never really sat right with me.
You cannot cause combustion in a vacuum. Get a Perspex box, set up a lighter flint, an electric lighter flint. Yeah. Make it totally airtight, vacuum it. Will you get a spark?
No.
Obviously not.
No.
Yeah. But the belief is that there's a combusting ball of gas in the middle of a great big vacuum, yeah, and you're on a circular, a spherical rock covered on the outside with liquid that's spinning. When you go to the park, go on the roundabout, spin the roundabout really fast. What happens?
We fly off it.
Centrifugal force. Yeah. So with centrifugal force, it throws things outward from the center, doesn't it? Fact.
How does that make more sense than a flat earth model? It just simply doesn't. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it doesn't make any sense at all. When every detail of your world that you're given is all data points that sound like science fiction, and you have no way of checking those data points for yourself, I can finally see how someone can make the transition into a flat earther. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out www.barry-stepp.com if you'd like to order yourself a shirt or a hat and help me support the channel. I greatly appreciate anyone who's done so far. Also, don't forget to post your photos of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.